All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We're so excited to introduce a brand new resource recently added to the UAGC Library Collection, the IGI Global eBook Collection. And today we have some representatives from IGI Global here to walk us through this brand new collection for us. And welcome to Genevieve Robinson, Savannah Pecknold, and Melanie Carrasco from IGI Global. It's been a real joy to get to know this company and these ladies, and just thank you so much to them for helping us get everything working in the library with IGI Global. And I'm so excited to be able to now start promoting this resource to faculty. I know you all will love it. This collection provides access to thousands of scholarly ebooks covering a wide range of disciplines, including education, business, technology, healthcare, social sciences, many emerging topics such as artificial intelligence and digital learning. They can support faculty research, course development. These sources also provide authoritative, peer-reviewed content available online 24/7. That's my spiel. Okay, so today we've got our wonderful representatives from IGI Global. They're going to provide an overview of the collection in a little more detail, demonstrate key features and functionality, and share tips for helping students and faculty, of course, get the most out of this resource. So you have folks available to answer your questions in chat if you'd like, but we will have time at the end to turn it to a cute question and answer session. So with that, I wanted to just really quickly, because I know sometimes it can be a little confusing how to find some of our databases in the library. So just in case you want to follow along with me now, I am going to pause my share and pull up my library website here. Because, as you know, we have many subscription databases available in the library. So IGI Global is one that you can find through our discovery system, our EDS, Library One Search. And can everybody see, now that I've paused my share, I just want to make sure I'm sharing the library home page. Is that right? Great.
Yes.
So you can find IGI Global in a couple different ways. If you go to Find Articles and More, you will be able to find it through databases A to Z list. Of course, this is all alphabetical. You can jump to I for IGI Global and get there that way. You can also go, if we start from our Find Articles and More databases by type, because we're looking, of course, we're talking about ebooks here. So if you are looking for an ebook, IGI Global is listed here under our ebook section as well. So with that, I will hand things over to our guests. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for welcoming us into this. I did want to switch over to a very brief introduction to the company. I'll have you keep your screen up for when we switch back to you.
Okay.
And we'll pick up from there. I'm just going to share over on my second screen. Can everybody see the display?
Not quite
so.
yet. Let's see.
All right, so this is the Access Introduction for University of Arizona Global to the IGI Global Scientific Publishing ebook collection. For a brief introduction to the company and kind of give you background on what motivates us, we were founded by a Penn State professor in the 80s who wanted to propose a new academic journal on a very highly scientific computer science related area. And he went to
Genevieve, sorry, I'm not seeing your slide deck. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I'm glad you said something.
Should I?
One second.
So I'll share my screen during the demo, right? But are you sharing your slide?
Yeah, I thought that I was. It says that I am.
Let's figure out. Let's see.
So share screen to share.
Just making sure I've given you. Okay, there. Now it's sharing.
Now I'm sharing. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
No, I'm glad you said something. All right.
I was trying to figure something out on the side. I'm like,
I was like,
All
oh,
good now?
yeah.
yes.
Okay, this was the first
Perfect.
thing that I was showing when I was talking about who we are, and then I switched over to the About Us page. So picking up where I left off, he was told that 2 years would be the time frame he'd have to wait for the first article to release. And knowing that it was a topic area that was highly sensitive to changing quickly because it was so scientific, he knew that that was too long for him to wait for these articles to be released. So he's keeping that in mind with the building of this company and the way that we function. So we are concerned about keeping fast-paced research, moving quickly, while also making sure that we're rigorously peer reviewing everything so that it is academically sound. And like you mentioned earlier, Karen, we have the subject areas that span a broad spectrum of interdisciplinary research. There's a lot of overlap between subject areas. And it does cover our three main subject areas of business and management, science, technology, and medicine, and education and social sciences. And as part of our publication ethics, we are a full member of the Committee on Publication Ethics, which is abbreviated as COPE. And I'm going to hand this over to Melanie, who is in charge of our e-collection sales, to talk about the ebook collection itself.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Genevieve. I know Genevieve and Karen went into the ebook collection a little bit, but I just wanted to go in on basically what's so good about our collection. So as of right now, we have over 11,500 plus scholarly ebooks and 200,000 plus peer-reviewed chapters in our collection. However, that number is continuing to grow. We have gained many more publications and ebook collections and chapters within the last year. So we see that number growing within the next year. Another key component from our ebook collection is our user access, which is basically unlimited simultaneous user access. And that means multiple people can look at the same ebook at the same time. There's no holding a book, there's no checking out a book. If anyone wants to check out the book at the same time, they can do that. Another key point is no DMR, which is basically unrestricted downloads and easy copy and paste functions with our ebook collection. We have a running joke in our office. If someone really wanted to print out a book, all they needed is time and paper. You know, there's really no restrictions whatsoever with our ebook collection now that you have purchased it. And now that you have it, you also have our discovery tools, which is basically we have advanced search and easy to access discovery features to pick out certain titles or certain topics that you would like to look at. And basically, just to go over all that is the key benefits of our collection is we are easy, reliable, and we're very easy to access. All right, that is everything for our ebook collection. I'm going to hand that over to Savannah, who's in charge of our open access journal program.
Hi, thank you, Melanie. Yep, so just wanted to briefly go over the open access content that is also available to all of you since it is fully open access. So our journal program consists of nearly 200 open access journals. We fully converted our journal program to open access back in 2023. So prior to all that, following 2023, all of our journal publications are open access. As a whole, we have over 1,000 open access articles published with us, and over 75 of our journals are indexed in Scopus, with over 60 also indexed in the Web of Science. That said, our articles are also available on platforms such as Science Direct, ResearchGate, the aggregator of global open science research, also known as Agassar, as well as EBSCO and ProQuest. So these are also available through your library discovery layer. So
We just wanted to give an overview of these things since they are at your disposal, sorry. And the thing with DRM, I'll just touch on that really quickly. It's very convenient to be able to copy and paste. We kind of have a policy that we know that DRM has its place and why a lot of publishers use it because it protects the content from being used inappropriately. Our take on that is that the bad actors are going to do what they're going to do, and there's no sense in us punishing you as the end user because of a few bad actors. They're going to do what they're going to do anyway. So we wanted to make sure that your use of the content is as simple as possible. Gonna move right along, and then here's where we'll transition back over. I'm going to end my share, and we will dive into how you actually get your access.
All right, let me make sure I share the screen, and then I'm going to give you remote control access. Is that right, Genevieve? You're going to
Yes.
need it? Okay, perfect. Let me know if that worked.
I think so. Can you see me clicking?
Yes,
Okay.
I can.
Okay.
So
All right.
cool.
This is your main page you're going to land on when you navigate away from the library page and into what we call our portal or the gateway. You're going to go to this main page, and you'll probably want to go straight to the search bar here. There's a couple other tools, but those are mostly useful for the librarians at your institution. This will take you straight to your search. And if you want, you can even save a link right here and just have search at the end of gateway. It will take you right there. And to show you what that looks like, I'm just going to click on the actual search bar without typing anything in. And as you can see, you have your URL that is the IGI Global base URL, and then it goes into /gateway/search. This will probably be where you want to save or start all of your search functions. So for a very basic search, you can start out just by putting in the keywords that you're looking for. Let's say you are looking for something that is focused on the environmental impacts of the fashion industry, right? Interdisciplinary, it's talking about business, it's talking about the environment. So we're just going to go ahead and type in here, fashion industry, environmental impact. And this is the simplest way that you're going to be able to get in and start accessing content that's in your resources. You simply select which one you want to look at. Here we have exploring waste management in sustainable development context. You can either view individual chapters. You have the whole book here at your disposal. You have both PDF and HTML formats to choose from when you're looking through this information. So let's say we want to look into chapter 3. Your PDF is going to have a couple of things. On the left, you'll actually have a scroll bar where you can go through the individual pages. And this should, for the most part, match up to the way that the print book is set up. So if that's a format you're used to using, that's very easy to go through. But I will say, if you're going to do any copying and pasting out of the content, one thing I would recommend is to use the HTML, because this will give you more line breaks than what you're looking for. It'll add extra formatting in it than what you need. So if you're just reading the information to kind of learn more about it, PDF is a really good way to go. If you're planning on printing it, it's a good way to go. You can jump around chapters on the right-hand side here. I'm going to go back a step. We'll go into the HTML. So you can just see the difference in how it's displayed. So here you have HTML display where it's a continuous line of text. This is going to be the option that's a little bit more accessible if you're using something like a screen reader. So if you or any of your students are using screen reader tools, this will be the option that is probably going to be better for that. It'll also be much easier to copy and paste the content right into something if you want to quote it in a paper. And to make citation easier while you're in the chapter, you can even go right up to Cite Chapter. And you have several options here. You can copy and paste from any of the above, or if you use EasyBib, RefWorks, any of these, you can export to those as well. So tried to make it as convenient as possible for you. You can navigate either, again, through the sidebar here. You also have a right and left arrow that you can move on to the next chapter with. I will go back to the search briefly here. And I just want to go into the different types of search. We started with basic, but there is also advanced and expert. Advanced is going to be for an instance where you know already of a book published by IGI Global Scientific Publishing, and you want to find that book in particular. Or you know of a person who has published with us, and you want to look them up by author. You can type the name directly in here, or you can type the title, the ISBN or ISSN if you're looking for a journal. And any one of those should be able to find you search results. I'm going to put in the last name, I'll put the full name of one of our authors. And new search. And here you can see Dr. Sterling Carter has 2 books that he's published with us, and the titles show up here, as well as a chapter that was published somewhere else as well. So you have all of those options show up specific to the author. Under expert, a second to load. This is going to be helpful if you're looking for something very interdisciplinary, but let's say you want to specify how much of one area you want to be influencing the other. So the example I gave earlier was environment and fashion industry. But let's say you want mostly environmental information and you want information about the fashion industry for that, as opposed to the other way around. It's a book focused on the environment that touches on fashion. So you would do environmental impact or climate change or whatever key term you're trying to use. You would want to do a weight. Let's weight this at 70%. And then we'll put fashion here and we'll weight this at 30%. Now, when you do a search, it should come up with results for either chapters, individual articles, or books that really fit that alignment of what topic areas you're looking for. But let's say there's an area that you don't want to include. A good example of this would be if you're looking for diversity, but you don't want results on biodiversity. You type those in, you don't necessarily need the weight with this one. You would click on exclude next to biodiversity before searching, and that would make sure that those results are prevented from showing up in these. Let's go back to basics so I can go over some of the filters that you can also use on the side here. So we'll search something human resources. So let's say you need research on human resources, but you want to make sure that it's recent. You only want information that's been published in the past 2 years. You can scroll down on the side here, and let's say I specifically only want to look at book content. Let's say I need a variety of content. I need journals and books, but I've already found journals, really trying to find book content. You can filter down for books. And then once that has loaded, scroll down once more, and you'll have copyright years that you can select. So 2027 is actually our current copyright year. We ended our 2026 early. Normally, that would be at the end of June. And so 2027 is part of the resources that you have access to, and that will continue on for a year subscription. So if you want to look at the 2 most recent, you can do 2027. And then as long as the box that was checked at the top that says retain filters is selected, I should be able to go down, that's right here, retain filters on search, and also select 2026. It looks like it's grayed out. That just means that there's no search results that are both 2026 and 2027. So now you can see we're finding publications 2026, 2026. You'll start to see more 2027 in the near future, like in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But this will show you what the most recent information on human resources is in our catalog. You can also filter it down if you want to go more general by subject areas that I mentioned earlier. We also have a breakdown into different fields. Business and management overlaps with business, but we've also got computer science, education, government falls under business, library information science, life sciences, media, medicine, physical sciences and engineering, security and forensics, and social sciences and humanities. Even further, you can narrow it down to looking at different areas within those various categories, and there's quite a few here. So those are some of the main ways that you can search and filter the results that you get on the IGI Global Scientific Publishing Gateway. I think that is all of the details for sharing with search results and how to navigate. And I can switch back over to our presentation now. Let's see. Sure. Okay, can everybody see my screen now?
It's good.
Yes. There we go. Savannah, did you want to take this one?
Yeah, thank you. All right, yeah, so we went over a lot of the content that you guys have access to. We are, of course, a publisher, so I wanted to kind of touch a little bit on a publishing service that we do offer. Anyways, so we do collaborate with your library to put together publishing workshops. These are sessions that can be available to faculty to learn a little bit more about our publishing processes, open access, peer review, and maybe manuscript preparation. So these are some things that, depending on what faculty need for the publishing needs, these are entirely customizable. So the best thing you can do is kind of, figure out what information would be useful to you if you wanted to publish with us, and then communicate with your librarian, communicate with Karen, maybe about a potential knowledge that you would want to learn about. So some topics that we can go over are benefits of publishing with IGI Global Scientific Publishing. We go over open access publishing charges and what they cover. We go over funding programs, since there's the APC charge. We do go over things to consider before submitting. We go over some ethical considerations. Sometimes we have our ethics person join these workshops, so it gives you a good opportunity to talk to her as well. And usually these are led by our editorial staff as well, so you get a little bit more internal knowledge about how our processes work, and ask them any questions that you have. In addition to that, we also share expectations that some journals may have. We also go over article and book publishing processes and the different types of peer review models. I'm not sure if it was mentioned before, but we do have a double anonymized peer review process, so we do go over what that means. And yeah. Just as another side note, these are generally hosted through Microsoft Teams. Sometimes they can be held in person, but generally not the case. And
For an institution like yours, I think online works a lot better.
yeah, yeah. So we do Microsoft Teams. I think if Zoom is preferred, we'll probably be able to do that as well. We're pretty flexible. Yeah, maximum 100 registrants on there. Everyone's more than welcome to come. Huh?
1,000 registrants. We're allowed to have 1,000.
1,000, my bad. And they are recorded.
Typically, we don't hit that number with these type of events.
Yeah, but the good thing is that they are recorded. So if you do register, similar to this event, they're recorded so you can access it later in case you missed it. So there's a benefit of those as well. So yeah.
And we can customize those if this is something that you're more interested in learning about, traditional publishing versus open access. You want to know about publishing in a book. We can make sure to tailor the communication around that as long as we know in advance. We'll probably work through your library to make sure that we're communicating with you about what you want to see in this particular event, should you want to host one, or should you want us to host one with you. So we work with you to make sure that your questions are getting answered appropriately. And that is what we have for today. You have our emails and phone numbers on the screen here. If you need to contact us, feel free to let us know if you have additional questions after the fact. If you think about it later and you didn't think of it now, absolutely get in contact with us. But I did also want to ask, we have some time, I believe now, we can kind of go over any questions that you have in the moment. I think I see something in chat.
We're just giving
Yeah.
lots of applause to, I think we have both Bill and Robin on the call today. Thank you both for being here. Our VIPs who have published with IGI Global recently and you won an award. So congratulations.
And their book with the Franson Award is in the collection, so you can all access it and you don't have to do anything special.
Love that.
Thank you for the
And,
shout
and
out.
I would be remiss if I did not say that you grow in this process with IGI. They're very talented. They know their process. They understand publishing. They're great writers. We could not have done this project without them. So
So,
Thank you.
Love that. And I want to speak to that as well, just from the library side of things. When we started working with IGI Global, before we signed the contract with them, we really wanted to make sure that we had support, especially with things like remediation for accessibility and things. And they have been so responsive and always willing to meet or hop on the phone. Before when we were first looking at the collection, we got on there with, I believe Justin is his name. And he walked through and took notes about, from our accessibility team about anything that they saw that, caused any concern with the platform. And they've already made changes and implemented a lot of our suggestions and things like that. So they've been a lovely partner to work with. And I'm just really excited that now we can offer IGA Global in the collection. So yes, absolutely, Bill. Great professionals, great team.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, does anyone have any questions? I don't want to cut us off too soon. I know we've got a little more time if we need it, but I do want to be respectful of everyone's time if there are no comments or questions.
I just have one more comment. The beauty of the textbooks is every chapter you do access. For example, you put something in on leadership or learning communities or whatever. You will find in those chapters that you find that's academic research. It's scholarly research. You'll find all kinds of references. The folks that write in these chapters, which is us and different contributors. IGI dots the I, crosses the T to make sure that this standard is something that you can use. So I just wanted to offer that too, because I know we just submitted something for TLC to talk about our book in a 20-minute video presentation just to cover the points of an integrated learning system, right? So I know that we are going to find, as we go through that, to highlight a few different points, where this research was found. We're going to be able to quote some of these leaders, but this is I'm a big fan of IGI, as you can tell, and I encourage you to jump in the pool, because if you've been looking to be seen and pay it forward and contribute to the greater good, what a platform they have. So thank you again.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, and Bill, you bring up a good point about the chapters, because I know a lot of times, faculty want to really respect students' time, and they might just need to use one chapter from a textbook. And IGI Global makes it really easy to just use a single chapter. You can link directly to a chapter, and then you're not, overwhelming students with an entire textbook, just this one little piece of it. And that's one benefit I really see with ebooks and IGI in particular. So
Yeah, but making it easier to use is always at the top of the goal. Being founded by an academician, we're always having him challenge us. He's still at the head of the company all these years later. And so he's always saying, like, how do we make this more user friendly? How do we make sure that everybody's actually getting into the content and using it? So if you have feedback, we're always open to hear it.
Mhm.